The holistic approach means to provide support that looks at the whole person, not just their mental health needs. This approach also considers the physical, emotional, social, and spiritual well-being. Our next expert discusses the principles for effective whole body support. She also shares what you can do to help activate your own pathways so you can address the root causes of health conditions that you may be experiencing. You are listening to Julie Walls with the Flip and Shift Expert Series podcast.
Hello, everyone. I am Julie Walls with the Flip and Shift podcast. I'm here to inspire and share the stories of experts who have gone through a journey, found their way, and are now inspiring and helping others. Today, we have an amazing guest with us on the podcast. Her name is Shayna Stockman. She's of www.shaynamelissa.com. Shayna is a #1 international best-selling author, a and ANCC nationally board certified nurse practitioner, dual licensed as an adult and child health nurse practitioner, registered nurse, Trump VIP, international award winner, publisher and author of Overcoming Life Obstacles. Guys, we're going to be talking about this book today. It's amazing. You guys are going to want to get this book. She's also an American Heart Life Support instructor. Shayna helps her patients through a holistic approach and a proactive approach, emphasizing prevention, you guys, prevention, proactive prevention. I talk about it all the time with naturopathy, which is more natural herbal ingredients to offer function medicine that attacks the root cause, you guys. That's very, very important. With biohacking alternatives to activate pathways and genetics, and integrative medicine, which means integrates, fuses in medication if needed. Shayna's catchphrase is, I love this, BT dubs, I'd rather be proactive today to prevent disorder than reactive tomorrow to treat disorder. Hallelujah. Thank you. We will be discussing her personal story, her perspective on healing, and lastly, her growing empire, you guys. Thank you so much, Shayna. Welcome to the podcast. How are you? Can't hear you. Uh-oh.
Hi, sorry about that. I am doing absolutely amazing. I'm so blessed and happy to be here. I'm honored. I absolutely love your podcast. So thank you for helping me share and spread my message. Knowledge is power.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Shayna, we're going to get into a little bit of personal details. So tell everybody on Facebook, on YouTube, where are you located?
I am currently in Long Island, New York, but I have clients in a lot of different states, countries, and now continents. And that's why I'm also titled the World Wellness Expert.
That is right. I knew that. Yes, that's awesome. Okay, so tell just a little bit more about your current self.
Okay. For those of you that don't know me, some might hear me called Shayna, and some might hear me called Melissa, and some might hear me called Shayna Melissa. I was always known as Melissa Stockman growing up, but about a year or so ago, I discovered my birth name, which is actually Shayna Melissa, and I'm trying to transition back. So somebody's watching now might be like, whoa, that girl looks like I went to high school with her, but I thought her name's Melissa. That's me.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's get into the interview. Okay, let's go back to your amazing background. First and foremost, I just want to say, you guys, she wrote an amazing book. It's called Overcoming Life Obstacles. I hope you guys can see it in the screen. It's called Overcoming Life Obstacles, Real People, Real Stories. It's an international, #1 international bestseller, which is, congratulations, Shayna. That's amazing. That's amazing. Her book is awesome. I enjoyed reading it. I mean, you can really honestly feel the passion, the dedication to the healthcare arena that she's been in for how many years now?
This year is 29 as a registered nurse and over 30 years in nursing itself. And
Wow.
my 3rd decade as a nurse practitioner, as a nationally board certified nurse practitioner.
certificates. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you give everybody a little bit of perspective on your journey, becoming a nurse, getting in the line of nursing?
Awesome.
I love that. I love your story, by the way.
Sure. I grew up, I'm going to give away my age, in the early 70s. And my grandma, God rest her soul, she raised me. And how I got into nursing was, as a little girl, I would see what she was doing. And I would observe her always eat a banana with her heart pill. And in later years, I discovered the heart pill was really a diuretic, a water pill. And in later years, I discovered that water pills rid potassium, and she was trying to replace it by eating a banana. So I would start seeing these things. And when I was taking health classes, I would put the pieces of the puzzle together.
Yeah.
And then I would start noticing that she was always eating low salt foods. And that's because in later years, I discovered salt retains your water, that raises your blood pressure. So she would need a blood pressure pill. And then I noticed that all of her siblings had diabetes. And she watched what she ate, didn't eat a lot of sugar, stayed skinny, never developed diabetes. So I realized in the 70s that we had the power to change our genetic expression. Only now are a lot of doctors starting to talk about genetic expression. I saw this in the 70s and the 80s, from learning from my grandmother. I'm like, just because you're born with genes doesn't mean that gene is going to be expressed. We have the power to decide externally about what we do externally and what we put in internally, if a gene's going to be expressed. So that was my first instincts with nursing and alternatives. And then my grandma loved helping people, and I loved helping people. And she loved putting smiles on faces. So I kind of learned that altruistic team player approach. And I was in a bad accident, and I had a scholarship for nursing. Then I didn't know if I wanted to go into nursing. I got in a bad accident. I met a nurse, and I was like, whoa, this nurse likes helping people. I like helping people. I got in this accident. I had this nursing scholarship. Maybe this is my calling. I said, she'll never know how many lives she impacted and how many of those lives impacted more lives. Yeah. So I'm like, wow, I want to go into nursing. So I went into nursing, except now my scholarship decided to have a budget cut and the payout was zero. So I was awarded a scholarship with a zero payout. I wrote to every politician, yes, nothing. So I got a lot of student loans and I worked my butt off. And I went into nursing, and I figured, now looking back, that I've been in the industry over 30 years, there's so many others that I have inspired to become nurses now, that have then went on to become like professors of nursing and teach more people. So I'm like, this little rippling effect is becoming this massive tidal wave. And now I look at people that were my patients that I inspired to be nurses. And I love it.
I love it. I love it.
Traditionally, I was trained in Western medicine, but I've been learning the alternatives since the 70s. So that's where I'm so different from everyone else. Most traditional doctors just do medicine. Most alternatives just do herbs. I do what's best for the client. So I do look at that holistic, whole body, mind, spirit, cellular level. I do naturopathic, more natural things if possible. I can prescribe medications if needed, since I am board certified nurse practitioner. So I do what's best for the client. It might be an alternative, it might be a medicine, it might be both. Sometimes it's alternatives instead of medicine. Sometimes I use it in conjunction with their existing medicines. So I find that sets me so far apart, because when I fuse multiple modalities together, they have synergistic results. And I love to get at the root cause, where modern medicine a lot of times is a garden, masking tape on a garden hose, as I said in the book. Modern medicine is to treat symptoms, not the causes. So if I give you a pain pill, that's temporarily getting rid of your pain until it comes back even worse. And then you're developing a dependency, and then you're getting side effects and interactions, where if I get to the cause of your pain, maybe you have carpal tunnel for you're typing too much. If I get to the cause, I can often solve the problem, and you don't need the medicines. So I rather often when I get to the root cause, I stop the progression from getting worse, which is huge. But not only that, I can actually reverse it, and you're getting rid of your symptoms, so you don't need for the medicines for the symptoms you don't have. And without the need for the medicines, you don't have drug dependencies, tolerances, interactions, side effects, and lethal overdoses. Oh my God, what a brilliant idea.
Yeah, right? That's awesome. Well, I have a question for you though. So when you were working as a nurse, you were in a hospital setting, right? Or were you in a clinic setting?
I've worked every avenue. I've done ventilators, dialysis, hospice, home care, private duty, the hospitals, the drug rehabs, the physical rehabs.
Yeah.
I've done everything, private practices, primary care, family specialists.
Well, I have a question because it seems like you were kind of ahead of the game before the biohacking came about. And
Yes.
I liked a part of your book where you were talking about how I think you were working with a patient and you suggested a B vitamin. And I will tell you, I've in my 40 some years of life, I've never really had a nurse or a doctor suggest a not, it's usually medication versus something like
Yes.
maybe you need more B's, maybe, but you've been doing that for the last 20
Yes.
years.
Yes.
So you've
I
been a
would have.
biohacker for many years.
Yes.
Longer than the
Before
rest
there
of
was the term. Even I
Exactly.
was doing functional medicine before the
Yes.
school of functional medicine even existed. If you look at the date it was founded, it was like crazy. And now doctors are trying to jump on board saying, I do integrative, I do holistic. And they're really not a lot of them. They're just trying to do a marketing ploy. So yes, like I would have patients come to me and say, Doc, I'm tired, give me that. And I don't mention the brand names, but you know, those stimulants that they use for ADD, ADHD. I would have adult patients coming in for that. I'm like, why are you tired? Are you not sleeping? No, I'm sleeping 8 hours. Okay, what's going on? And a lot of times I would check their B level and it was in the tank. Now, when your B level is low, not only you have no memory, no focus, no concentration, you can get neuropathies, but also low B can cause anemia. When you don't, anemia is a lack of red cells that carry the oxygen that are required for you to function normally. So hello, we give the person B vitamin. They don't need the stimulants that they use for ADHD. They're getting the B vitamins now that they're not getting from their diet. So now they're not anemic. They're not anemic. They have red cells that carry the oxygen to give them the energy that they needed. What a brilliant concept. But a lot of I don't want to categorize doctors, but a lot of healthcare providers are so trained into treat the symptom. You're tired, let's give you a stimulant. Here, you're in pain, let's give you a pain pill. What if we attack the root cause to stop the progression from worsening, reverse the progression, which gets rid of the symptoms, and you don't need the meds? And there's example after example. And the reason I give these golden nuggets is it might help someone there. I had someone I used to work with. I was working at ambulatory surgery. They did a lot of endoscopies, colonoscopies. She was going every 6 months for her scopes. The doctor says, here, take this PPI, for your stomach. Oh, it's not enough. Take this other one at night. I'm talking to her. I'm like, you know what about coffee? She goes, that's all I drink all day long. I'm like, if you stop the coffee, that's pure acid. You won't need that pill in the morning, that one at night, and going for a scope every 6 months. But the GI doctors, a lot of them, I don't want to generalize, but a lot of them, it's a great moneymaker. Here, see you next month. Here's a medicine on the way out. Schedule your next appointment. I'll give you a sample. And the patients don't realize that sometimes it's more of a sales and a business to them. Hey, you know what? Your blood pressure is a little high. Here, I'm going to give you a sample. Come back in 2 days. Oh, make sure you book it on your way out. Yeah, we'll squeeze you in. And you think that guy's being nice to you. No, he just got a quick, easy visit for a blood pressure check. That doctor could just tell you to drop 20 pounds and you won't need the blood pressure pill, or watch your sodium, right? So, I mean, I have nothing against doctors. I love a lot of them. But a lot of times it's the way they're trained, and sometimes it's more of a business. It's better to keep you sick and needing a pain med every month to come in for a controlled substance than just get you better where they're not seeing you for 6 months.
Yes, yes. Do you think, and I have to go back because I mean, I'm looking through some of your book and you have you have a whole several different pages on biohacking, and you give amazing tips on how to battle toxic accumulation, inflammation, mitochondria. I love everything that you put in here because it's packed full of just really great information that everybody really should understand and know about. What garbage we put in, right? You wrote, the garbage that we put in our bodies really is causing a lot of issues with our health. So I love a lot of what you've written just in the first 80 pages. I just want to say that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
But I do want to ask you because I love also that. Go ahead.
Can I interject for a second? I just want to give a little disclaimer here. So basically today, for those that are learning from me, I just want to let you know, I'm not claiming to diagnose, treat, cure, mitigate your disease right now, right here. because I can't do that. I do not know you personally. I don't know your allergies, your medications, your past surgeries, past medical history, what you've tried, what you haven't tried. I would encourage everyone to reach out back to their own healthcare provider. If their healthcare provider is not getting them healthy, you need to consider a second opinion. It's like if you have a contractor doing your kitchen, you don't like the way it's turning it out, you get a second opinion. So if your healthcare provider is not getting you healthy, I'm not saying fire them. I'm saying get a second opinion, a third opinion, a fourth opinion. The problem is with, or reach out to me individually, since I know about biohacking and they don't, I will give you a discovery call where I could see how I could help you based on your individual needs and what you've tried and not tried. And I would say that a lot of doctors, people go to the doctors thinking, oh, they know better. And they go to the specialist thinking that's their last stop. If the doctor doesn't know, the specialist does. The problem is they only know what they were taught. And if you go to a doctor that's very experienced, you think that's good for you because he's been around 20, 30 years. No, sometimes it's worse because the technologies I'm using have only been out the past few years. So the odds are if your doctor graduated more than 5 years ago, he has no idea what I'm doing. 99% of them don't. So now I'm actually educating a lot of the doctors and specialists. So when my clients get better and they go back to their doctor and the doctor's like, oh my God, what this is amazing. What'd you do? Then they reach out to me and I educate them. So a lot of times it's hard. I'm glad, thank you for letting me get my message out because their doctors don't know of this. So reach out to me. I can work in conjunction with a lot of doctors and specialists. Sometimes patients choose me instead of, and sometimes I integrate it in their existing treatments, what they're doing. And a lot of times I get rid of their symptoms. They don't need their meds anymore. So a lot of my patients are now off a lot of their meds, if not all their meds. And a lot tell me they haven't felt this good in years. And I had one guy say decades. Imagine that. You're in your 70s. I mean, that's like, the specialist didn't do that for him.
Absolutely. Okay. So I want to ask you, because I love this chapter that you talk about your grandma. I think it's so sweet. Yes. And what I want to say is, okay, first and foremost, obviously she had some influence on your perspective on the healthcare and your approach to treating people or helping people. I do want to hear just a little bit more about that because I think I love your chapter on that.
If you like what you're listening to, please hit the subscribe button now.
So you want me to elaborate a little bit on Grandma's story?
Yeah.
How she impressioned me? Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously you talk a little bit, was she the one that had the twin?
She did have a twin. I don't think I mentioned that in the book. I thought I told you, maybe. I don't know, but she did have a twin.
Okay. I thought I had read that she had a twin and that didn't the twin end up developing diabetes?
No. Her siblings did. So Grandma, what was different about Grandma? It's like this. If sometimes I used to work for some doctors, and some of them were like, say, heavy and an endocrinologist, right? Telling patients to drop weight and keep their weight down. So she didn't just preach. She actually set the example for me because a lot of doctors might be heavy set and telling you to drop weight for your diabetes, your high blood pressure, not you per se, but a regular patient, where Grandma actually set the example. And she didn't even teach me, like she taught me by example. I only learned from observing her eating the banana with her water pill or her ordering low salt foods. And so Grandma's siblings all had diabetes and all her brothers and everything. And what I learned was that she was always watching what she ate, watched her sugars, stayed skinny, never developed diabetes. So a lot of people, and I'll give you another example. Well, since we're on Grandma, I'll tell you this too. In later years, when she started to decline, I saw that and I started taking care of her again. And let me tell you about her. She was brought up poor, minority, divorced parents during the last pandemic, and then graduated high school 2 years early, and then went through the last Great Depression. So, I mean, that showed me I had to do hard work to even get to the point where others already were. So that set the bar for me. And I started, working hard from a young age. But all of her siblings had the diabetes and she didn't. And I learned this through observation. And even though we have the gene, we can decide if a gene's going to be expressed or not. And I've seen example after example. I've seen twins separated out of birth, adopted off separately, reunited as adults. And one looks like so much older and heavier. It could be the mother of the other. Why? She probably smoked, ate fast food out in the sun. So they were identical twins. They have the same exact genes. What's the only difference? What you're ingesting and what you're putting on your body.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy. Oh, and I got her walking again too. That's another thing. So my grandma started not walking. And that's when I when I noticed this, we moved back in together and I took care of her. And back then, your insurance didn't give you anything. I carried her into the doctor's office, right? And I knew I can get her walking again. So now she's older. She looked up to me for advice, right? I'm a brand new nursing grad. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I don't even have experience. Right. And actually, I think it was before I graduated. So she said to me, you think I'll ever walk again? And you know what? I gave her that belief at 79 years old. Anyone else would have been like, no, that's it. But I was like, listen, what's the cause? Her cause was that she was afraid to walk home alone, fall down the stairs. So her muscles atrophied, got contracted, stiff, she got bed sores. And she started getting brain fog because she wasn't being stimulated. She had no phone, friends weren't coming. She couldn't go down the stairs to open to them. So when I took care of her, I was like, wait, what's the cause? She was afraid to walk. So let's do it. So like when she was contracted this way, I would make her start sleeping on the other side and put pillows up a little more. And I would do daily stretching exercises, strengthening exercises. So I gave her the belief. Mindset's a huge part of it. If I had told her no, she would have never walked again. But I knew her cause. Her cause was just fear and atrophy and stiffness. So let's stretch it, let's strengthen it. And that's exactly what we did. So I did exercise with her every day. And eventually she walked again, no cane, no walker, no nothing. And if you look at that picture in the book of her standing at Rockefeller Center at the Christmas tree, that's after she started walking again. That was her 79th birthday. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Isn't that cool? So I gave her the belief. You need the belief too.
Well, and that's where I want to carry into, because I mean, I think that's a remarkable story, mind and the body, the synchronicity of it. But I also want to say that a lot of people, I think for myself included, is the idea, and I want to carry into your actual health story, because I think it's really fascinating. And a lot of people will go into doctor's offices and let's say they're having a symptom or something, and the doctor does a workup on them, or the nurse practitioner does a workup on them, and they'll tell them there's something like, well, it's just benign, you don't need to worry about it. And a lot of times we're overriding that intuitive, instinct of, no, I don't want to ignore this. Do you think, from your perspective, that many are beginning to question the current, what I'm saying, the current landscape of diagnosing or treatment in conventional, medicine or conventional treatment practices?
Yeah, definitely. And you have a right to question. Go with your gut. You ever go like to run out the door and you're like, I should grab my coat just in case it rains, and you don't, and you're like, man, I should have listened to my gut. Go with your intuition. It's always better to err on the side of safety. I have so many people that were told, ignore. Now, for instance, when I had my heart problem, I was in, for those of you that don't know, full-blown heart failure, okay? I was told by that cardiologist that I fired, okay? 95, I said, I need to get to the cause to stop the progression and reverse it. And 95% of my patients, I never find the cause of their heart failure. I'm like, that's unacceptable. I don't do drugs. I'm skinny. I don't take diet pills. I need to get to the cause, or I'm just going to get worse. So I fired him, and I searched for someone a doctor that would listen to me and said, you're right. This is it. Yes, let's do that. So I encourage you, go with your gut. I had so many people that were ignored. I was one of them. I say this, your symptoms is like the dummy light in your car. Your symptoms are saying, hello, there's something not right. I am warning you. Now, I was told when I had palpitations, ignore them. I said, Doc, I'm watching TV, relax. And my heart starts racing. He goes, that's when you have time to think about your problems. Because a lot of women are misdiagnosed with anxiety. And this doctor would give everyone Xanax for females, and the males would get a stress test. I'm like, come on. So I was in heart failure, and he's like, oh yeah, here's a little Xanax. So listen to your gut. Listen, your symptoms are like the dummy lights in your car. If you ignore the dummy light, you're going to need a whole engine where you might have just need a quart of oil. So it's rather discover that problem now. Do not ever ignore your warning symptoms, your dummy lights, and get it checked out. And if your doctor doesn't listen to you, get a second opinion, get a third opinion. Because if I didn't do that, I would have been in heart failure and dead right now. I wouldn't even be alive. I mean, I'm in full blown heart failure. My legs were blue and black and cold, and
which is
I don't want to
remarkable
get into
for what I
detail.
know of you now and how active and how insanely healthy you are from what I've known and talked to you about, and just your overall look and how active you are. I just think, to me, that's mind blowing looking at your past health history. I was blown away, actually. So yeah,
Well,
I think
I found a doctor that listened to me. I went out of network, searched across the country for the right person that would actually listen to me and agree. I didn't want a specific diagnosis. I just knew what I had.
yeah,
So just
absolutely.
keep searching, reach out to me, reach out to a doctor that's going to listen to you. Search your doctors. You get to choose, right? You get to choose your mechanic, your hairdresser. You get to choose your healthcare provider. If they're not getting you healthy, get another opinion. And also, like, I had bad trigeminal neuralgia pain. My jaw is still dislocated on both sides, just so you know. 3 surgeries failed. Yeah, the airbag dislocated the jaw. I can finally talk about it now after 7 years.
Yeah.
So the airbag dislocated the jaw. I had 3 reconstructions. They all failed by 2 different surgeons, board certified, yada, yada. It's not a common surgery, so they don't have a lot of experience. They hit the trigeminal nerve. I was paralyzed on one side for a while. It hurt to touch my hair because of that nerve is so painful. But look, I can touch my face now. I'm not on any meds. The docs are like, they overdosed me in the hospital. I almost never woke up. So I went to pain management preventatively before my next surgery. And of course, they're like, here, see you next month, see you next month. I didn't want that. I'm like, doc, I don't want the oxy. They're like, oh, okay, how about fentanyl? They offer me fentanyl. I'm like, I don't want fentanyl. They're like, oh, how about
Are you
morphine?
serious? They offered you
Yeah,
fentanyl? That's
yes. And
crazy.
then they go, well, wait. I said, doc, I don't want that. They go, your insurance won't cover what we wanted to give you, so we'll give you morphine. Like, I don't want morphine.
It's
So what
like,
happens?
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. It's like the quote that you said on page 63, which I want to refer to because I love it. It's the pharmaceuticals were just like masking tape on a garden hose and only good for now. This was from the book.
yes,
So I think it's true,
yes.
though. It's a temporary fix, and they keep doling them out. And I love your quote on that.
And thank you. And what happens is now, okay, the anti-inflammatories gave me an ulcer even with food. So then I needed meds for an ulcer. Then, okay, let's give you a better anti-inflammatory. Let's give you the steroids. So then the steroids made me heavier, which raised my sugars and my blood pressure. So now you want to give me more meds for, diabetes, hypertension. I was getting sad and I was in bed all the time. Now I'm off all the meds. I'm back to my ideal weight. My sugars are normal. My blood pressure is normal because I'm off the steroids. I have normal weight, normal blood pressure, normal sugar. I can touch my face. I'm off the meds. I'm energetic. I'm happier.
That's
Like,
amazing.
yes. So
That's so
now
wonderful.
my pain doctor called me up because some of our, not only my results, because I was going like twice a year to keep my insurance open, but he saw some of our mutual clients. So he's like, I'm ready to buy in, like whatever you're doing. So
Yeah.
now he's a client. So that's pretty
Which
cool.
I kind of want to dive into because I mean, your story is it's pretty miraculous, especially the heart issues that you had and how you basically discovered that on your own. You knew something wasn't right. You were trusting your your intuition, but based on all of the meds that they put you on, all the anti-pain medications, I mean, that had to have caused a lot of internal damage. And how did you begin to start recognizing it and repairing it?
Ooh. Okay, that's where the biohacking came in. Well, I like to get at the root cause. So you look at things that you always look at what's making your problem worse and try to stay away from it, and what's making your problem better and do it more, right? That's for any rule of thumb, no matter what your problem is. So for me, I noticed with my jaw, heavy lifting aggravated it, cold foods, eating hard food. So I try to stay away from those things. Things that make it better, I try to do more. Hot showers help me, certain exercises. But the biohacking helped me the most because the root cause of almost all of our problems, hundreds of health problems, are now linked to oxidative stress, which causes inflammation. Those are those free radicals, the really bad ones. They cause oxidative stress. That's linked to inflammation. Inflammation's never a good thing, right? You get an inflamed elbow, it hurts. You get inflammation in your lungs, you can't breathe, you need inhalers. You get inflammation on your skin, your doctor might say you have psoriasis, eczema. So inflammation in any body part is never good and causes health problems. Oxidative stress causes inflammation. Let's attack the oxidative stress. So I looked at the three main causes of most of our health problems. Oxidative stress causing inflammation, our number of mitochondria in our cells dying off. Mitochondria, if people don't know, they're the little energy stations of your cells. They are required for cells to live. Now, without them, the cells die. The heart has the most number of mitochondria out of all your organs because it's pumping 24/7. So it needs all that energy. So you know what? Your mitochondria are dying off over the years because we weren't meant to live this long. So if I activate a certain pathway, and I'll get into the pathways. So the three main reasons of the root causes are the oxidative stress causing inflammation because our body's not making our antioxidants like we used to anymore. The mitochondria dying off and they're required for cells to live. It's like your cell phone. Without energy, your cell dies, right? Without gas in your car dies. You need the mitochondria for the energy for the cells to live. And the third reason is toxin accumulation. Our toxins build up in our lifetime. We're bombarded with more toxins now than ever on a daily basis, and we weren't meant to live this long. So for those three reasons, those are the three root causes I try to attack with the biohacking, where we activate genetic pathways to do certain things. Biohacking is like, if you break up the word bio and hacking, it's like hijacking a plane, right? It's taking over control of the plane. Biohacking is taking control over your own biology, like grandma did to avoid diabetes. Like, so biohacking is taking control of your own genetics to decide if a gene's going to be expressed or not. Like grandma did with her diabetes history, like the identical twins I was saying. So with different herbs, natural blends in certain exact proportions taken simultaneously can actually activate certain highways or pathways in our body. We have all these different roadways and highways and pathways, and different herbs in different exact proportions taken together can actually activate a pathway to do what it used to do and should do. So like when I activate one pathway called the NRF2 pathway, I can rev up production of my body's own defenses like it used to do. My own antioxidants, my own superoxide dismutase, my own glutathione, my own SOD. And antioxidants that your body makes is literally 1,000,000 times more potent than an antioxidant you take. Anything you try to take and ingest is usually synthetic. You don't absorb it as good. Something your body makes, it's used to it. It's not foreign. It's well absorbed. So if you try to ingest a vitamin C, usually your stomach acid kills most of it off. You pee it out, you see the bright yellow, and that's it. But when I activate this pathway, this NRF2 pathway, makes my body produce more of its own SOD glutathione. And just so you know, this is an interesting fact. One molecule, when you take an antioxidant, like say you eat a blueberry, one antioxidant molecule one of my good soldiers now can only fight one bad free radical soldier, 1-to-1. But when I rev up that pathway, the NRF2, and I create my own SOD, one molecule of that can neutralize up to 1,000,000 bad free radicals. So it's 1-to-1,000,000 ratio when I make them rather than when I take them. So you can have a 1-to-1 battle, or you can have a 1-to-1,000,000. I'd rather one of my soldiers being able to fight 1,000,000 bad soldiers rather than just 1-to-1. Like you'd have to eat a lot of blueberries to have the same effect.
That's amazing. That is, I mean, I'm like educating like crazy, which I want to say, you guys, from the book, I will say there's a whole chapter on battling today's toxic accumulation, which she does talk about the NRF2 and NFR1. So I think it's really important, you guys, if you want to get more education, I would definitely access her book, and you can get this book on Amazon or you can get it direct from Shayna. So you'd want to go to www.shaynamelissa.com to buy this book direct. And I'm assuming you'd probably give a signed copy.
Oh, yes, they can get signed copies from me. They can bulk order signed copies, fundraisers, Yes, yeah, they can contact me directly for them. They can get them on Amazon, but they won't be signed copies. They're
Yeah.
on Amazon. They can get it for any electronic device, the book, the Kindle, the PC, the iPhone. They can read it from any device, or the hard, the soft covered like that you have, they can get on Amazon. But if they want a personalized signed copy, they can just reach out to me or my website. And there's something newer that's not even in that book yet. The liquid collagen that's helping a lot of people
Yes,
now.
and I want you to
Vegetable.
expand on that because I think that's really, really important because I am a
Yeah.
collagen user. So I'm excited about it. I want you to expound on it.
Yes, and also back to the B vitamins for a second. My patients that were low energy that wanted a pill, a prescription, and what I did was I told them about the energy drinks that I drink that have the B6, B12. The docs will just say, "Oh yeah, you're low on B. Come in every month or every week, and I'll give you a shot." Yes, exactly. So I dump that little powder pack. I keep them in my purse all the time. When I was working at offices, I'd keep them at work, keep them in my car. I just ask the waitress for water, dump it in and mix, or my PBA shaker free bottle.
And I'll
Yes.
tell you what, you guys, the variety of flavors is unreal and they taste delicious. My children love them. I love them. I find a huge difference between my previous active energizing powder versus this. I always felt a little bit of an aftermath from it. I felt nothing, no layers or nothing from this powder.
Do you?
And go ahead. I'm sorry.
No.
My favorite is the apple. I love the apple or the strawberry.
Oh.
No. I'm sorry. It's the grape. The grape. Isn't it the grape?
Yeah, there is grape too. There's green grape and purple grape.
And the green grape, that was one of my favorite. And the strawberry, it's like a strawberry one.
There's a strawberry.
Love strawberry lemonade, right?
Nice. Yeah, there's strawberry and there's lemonade, and you can mix them together. You get strawberry lemonade.
I love
mix the
both
flavors.
of them. The taste is great. It doesn't have a weird vitamin taste to it, which I mean, some people complain about that. And I didn't have any sort of because I'm real sensitive to some B vitamins. Okay. And I mean, some people are not. Methylation is an issue for me. And I'm very, very picky as to what I choose to put in my body. And I love the fact that she educates people on the activation component, not just taking supplements. I mean, you really have to have some substance to what you're taking that's going to work for your body. And she talks a lot about this in the chapter, but she also has some really great information on her website. But I want to know, Shayna, what other ways, because you're fantastic at educating people on all things.
Can I interject about the B? Okay. So a lot of my clients that were drinking coffee a lot, they were getting acid reflux. I was one of them. I've had 2 cups in the past few years, and only because it was a social event. But what happened was coffee gives you highs, lows, crashes, where this didn't. It gives me great energy all day long. But also coffee, either dump in a ton of sugar or artificials. Neither one's good. This is all natural. There's only 3 carbs, no artificial color, sweeteners, preservatives, but it's giving you all your B vitamins that you usually don't get from food. So you're getting not only your B12 that you need for memory and brain fog and nervous system and for trying to prevent anemia, but you're also getting B6. B6 is very important, but also you're not getting highs, lows, crashes, but also it has little amounts of certain botanicals to help brain function. It has green tea, quercetin, L-theanine. So there's certain key nutrients that when we use tiny amounts of multiple ingredients, we get synergistic results. We get better effects without side effects. It's like a lot of doctors will give you 3 different blood pressure meds to drop your blood pressure to normal rather than a super high dose of one. So the herbs, I do the same thing. I give tiniest little amounts. So not enough where they get side effects interactions, but together they work better. It's almost like if the doc says, hey, listen, I'm going to give you ibuprofen, moist heat, and physical therapy for your sore neck. The 3 together will work synergistically and better results. And so I find it's amazing. I'm not getting palpitations. Oh, but more importantly, I'm not getting reflux, because like that lady I bumped into at the surgery center that was getting endoscopies every 6 months, she was just drinking coffee. She was going to the doc all the time. She was taking her med in the morning for the stomach and med at night for the stomach, and still getting reflux. Stop coffee, switch to this. Whoa, what a miracle. You don't need the meds anymore.
That's awesome.
Isn't that crazy?
That is wonderful. Okay, so then what if somebody was interested in wanting to learn more about the products? Where would you direct them?
There's a couple different things. And then, I do want to talk about the liquid collagen. Sorry, I sidetracked you.
I do.
Yes, they can follow me on all social medias. If they go to Shayna Melissa, Shayna, Melissa, ShaynaMelissa.com. Under the contact section is all my social medias. They can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Amazon. They can follow me on my Amazon page. They can subscribe to my YouTube channel. They can like and get notifications on my business pages. So if they just go to Shayna Melissa, everything's there. My link tree is also Shayna Melissa, has all my social medias. So they can like my business pages, set to get notifications, join my Facebook groups, follow me on Instagram, Amazon, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Shayna Melissa has a lot of helpful information. I would highly suggest, of course, they get the book from Amazon or myself or my website. Start there. On the website has lots of helpful information as well. If they go to my website, it'll pop up and say, hey, you want her biohacking 101. And they can do that. They can fill out a questionnaire so I know how I can better help them, what their deficits are. And on the website, they can also schedule a free discovery call to see their exact needs, because I do so many different things with my clients. I have one-on-one consultations where they can retain me for the year or quarterly to be available for them, almost like a medical concierge, but hopefully without medicines if we don't need.
Great.
So they can retain me for the year to, be available when they need. And I can work virtually with people in different states, countries, and continents. So they don't have to be in New York at all, anywhere. They could be anywhere. I could do it on virtual, on like a Zoom, or if they're old fashioned, like their 90-year-old mom, I can get on the phone and counsel them as well. I have upcoming classes and challenges and courses all the time. The way to see, when they go to my website, they can follow me on social medias. They can fill out their email, submit their email. They can schedule a free discovery call or a paid consultation. They can join my upcoming Burnt Out to Blissful free 3-day challenge and private community. And then after that, there's going to be a VIP upgrade. If you can't make the live, you can get the recordings. After that, there's going to be a deep dive full immersion course, how to go from burnt out to blissful. Both of the challenge and the course are going to talk more about biohacking, how to activate your genetic pathways, different avenues you can go into businesses, what I've tried, what I didn't try, what didn't work for me, what did work for me, what I'm doing now. They can also choose, I'm going to come out with book number 3, and they might choose to contribute their short story into the next edition, because my writers found we're real people. We're not authors by trade, but I have it professionally edited. I give them a creative workshop, editing for grammar, spell check, punctuation. I have a marketing team drive it to bestseller, formatters, graphics designers. So we give them a workshop. We teach them how to write their chapter. They get a chapter. My writers felt it to be very cathartic or therapeutic, and to get their uncensored message out. A lot of publishers will twist the story to make it sound better to sell more books. I will not twist your story. I will let your uncensored story be told. Most writers, 98% of people want to be authors. Most don't. They can't afford it, and they spend their whole life writing a book. They just write one quick chapter. I put their face on the back cover. I give them a 1 to 2 page bio with their headshot, all their social media links, a picture. They have an option to get their name on the front cover of the next book. I don't have the title solidified, but I might call it Tragedies to Triumphs and Secrets.
I love that. Yeah, I love it.
Secrets of Success. And then the collagen too. That's another hot topic that's not in there because it's even newer. Yeah. People don't realize collagen is not just for your externals. You need it internally. Collagen is usually too big of a molecule that if you slap it on your face, it's not going to get through to the cells and really work. So it's a marketing play when they sell you like liquid collagen that you slap on, as far as I know. So when you ingest it, after age 25, you start breaking down collagen, you stop making it like you used to. So when I ingest the new liquid collagen that I'm in love with, it's helping my internals. This one is like no other. Liquid is so much more potent than powder. When you ingest, it works internally too, not just externally. You need liquid. This type that I'm in love with tastes really good. It has 10 types of different collagen in it. 10. That's awesome. But also what it does is it not only replaces the collagen that's missing, the depleted collagen, it slows down the degradation of your existing collagen. So now your existing collagen is going to break down slower. And then it also activates that NRF2 pathway to rev up more SOD and your own defenses to slow down aging internally. Because collagen, it's not just for our skin. We need it for our bones, our ligaments, our tendons, our muscles. So if people are getting frizzy hair, It might be their collagen breaking down. If people are getting muscle weakness, their collagen's breaking down over the years. You're noticing you're getting weaker and weaker. You're getting more aches. That's your collagen breaking down, your ligaments, your tendons, your muscles. So we need it for hair, skin, bones, ligaments, tendons, muscles. If we have weakness, we're just breaking it down and we're not rebuilding it when we get older. So this is replacing and stimulating your body to produce more.
Absolutely. And I think for those folks that are listening in that have autoimmune disorders, diseases like
Ooh.
thyroid disease, I think it's super important to be taking collagen. And
Yes.
I love this. I love how you mentioned 10 different types or forms of collagen.
Yes.
I love it. I think
Little
it's a
amounts.
fantastic product. You guys just launched it, what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, real recent. I don't want to put a time frame because people might watch this.
And so you'll be able to supply some data, get some information out there to
yes.
people.
On my website, they can click Shop Shayna's Favorites and they can see all the products that I use myself personally. I don't recommend anything I don't use or I wouldn't take myself if I had that problem. Yeah. Where a lot of doctors might be like, try this, try that. I'm telling you what I use.
Well, and I want to say too, Shayna's really good about, you know, if you have sensitivities, right? And I had mentioned that about microdosing, just kind of starting slow and low, or I think you even mentioned there's some products that you've worked with where you can even break it out.
Yes.
And I think that's wonderful because a lot of times we feel that, you know, that it's one size fits all. It's not. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think that your connection with these products are so beneficial for people because if you get a consultation with you, you can really help the person figure out the right dosing and what's going to work best for them.
Yes. That's where, you know, modern medicine is like, oh, you have high blood pressure here, 10 milligrams of this. And I'm like, no, I look at you as a person and what you need. If you're hypersensitive, I don't start you on 3 things at once. I'm like, you know, here's a baby dose of one. And then in a week, we're going to go up a little bit. We're going to start, you know, it's so. And
it's a good thing because you listen.
Yes. What'd you say? No, I'm just kidding.
Right? What? Huh? Yeah. No, you listen and I love it. I love when we had a conversation over products and, you know, the biohacking products that are all out there, you educated me on that. I love all that you're doing. I love that you're expanding and moving forward to a new version of the book, right?
Yes.
And you helped so many people in the book as well. I mean, the story on the stage 4, or the lady with cancer, I thought was phenomenal.
Oh, yes. So that's a good story. Yes, I'll share a tiny bit of that. Just so you know, I only share usually, you know, after permission, and I remove all identifiers. Right. So yes, this was cool because it was someone I connected with a few years ago. We lost touch. When we reconnected, she's like, I have stage 4 cancer. And, you know, that means it's spread everywhere. And she was told to go into hospice to die. That means when you are they tell you to go to hospice, usually you're expected to only have a few months left to live. So she was doing traditional chemo, but her tumor was still getting bigger. So obviously chemo alone wasn't working. She started activating her genetic pathways. Now, mind you, I make no claim to diagnose, cure, treat, mitigate any disease because everybody's an individual and everybody might not get the same results, especially if they don't have the mindset and they're not doing it in conjunction with other things. But for her instance, the chemo was still making her tumor bigger. It was not controlling it. After she started hacking, her tumors were starting to shrink. Then she was telling me it was no longer in her blood because she also had her oncologist that she was seeing. It wasn't just me. And then she told me that she went into full remission from stage 4 metastatic cancer. That's huge because I can't say it was the chemo that did that because her tumor was still growing when she was on the chemo. And then she started this and went into full remission. Can I claim it's the naturals? No, but I'm just saying the story.
Yeah, I think it's amazing though. I mean, what we can do now and what we're seeing if we go outside of the conventional approach, I think your work is really phenomenal.
Thank you. Thank you. When you mentioned autoimmune, that reminded me something. Now I'll give you another case study. Now, case study is like, you know, like a single person. I was diagnosed with autoimmune disorders, okay? And I was told, here, go on this med. Now, I know from my patients with autoimmune disorders, when they go to the specialist, usually a rheumatologist, they go on certain meds for autoimmune. Now, those meds often weaken their immune system, so it doesn't fight itself. So now they're getting sick more often. So I'm like, wait, this doctor wants me to go on medicine during a lethal pandemic that's going to lower my immune system where I might get that virus and die. And I'm like, So you always weigh the risk versus benefits and look for healthy alternatives. So my patients, before I knew about biohacking, they were going to their specialist, they were going on these autoimmune prescriptions, and they were weakening their immune system. So they come in all the time to the urgent care. They're sick again, they're still sick. And the autoimmune meds weren't enough. So the doctors add on the steroids. So now they're on daily steroids, which weakens their immune system more. Now, when you're on the steroids, you gain weight. Now, when you gain weight, you get high blood pressure, high sugars, diabetes, and then you're sick all the time. So either you're afraid to go out in public or you're sick all the time. So I have a case study. This is interesting. I know a friend of a friend had autoimmune, listened to the doctor, went to the specialist, tried the autoimmune drugs, steroids, gained weight, high sugars, high blood pressure, always afraid to be in public now because he's always sick, and breaking bones left and right. Me, autoimmune, not on any of those prescriptions, not on the steroids. I'm at my ideal weight. I'm happy. I'm energetic. I'm out of my bubble. I'm never sick. My bones are good. You think this biohacking has something to do with it? I don't know.
Yeah,
Just saying.
exactly.
Maybe getting to that root cause of that oxidative stress that causes inflammation, the toxins building up. So I've helped a lot of people with autoimmune because I find if the doctor often doesn't know what to do, and now the specialists don't with autoimmune, they just know what they taught. Autoimmune med here, steroids here, and the person's still getting worse and worse and worse. So reach out to a healthcare provider who's going to listen to you, that has a healthier alternative. And I want to predominantly help those that were left helpless and hopeless by me, their heart, autoimmune, chronic pain. Like, look, I could touch my face. This is like, that's a miracle for someone with trigeminal neuralgia.
Yes, it is.
And so I want to predominantly help those, but I find when I educate healthcare providers, each of those can impact hundreds or thousands of lives. So I could have more of a massive tidal wave effect than the rippling effect. So I want to educate the healthcare providers. So in seconds a day, they too can self-care with biohacking, with the capsules, caplets, juices. And so they can get better. They can create that deeper impact that they were meant to, because now in modern medicine, I was frustrated not being able to help my clients and offer them something else, even though I knew all the medicines out there. So they can actually create that deeper impact with their clients. They can treat more clients in less time. So now they can have more time to like what Sir Richard Branson said on a recent call that I was on. He said, live life to the full. So I want to show healthcare pros they can treat more clients in less time, like I do virtually with the biohacking, so that they can live life to the full.
Yes.
And be happy. Be happy. That's the ultimate goal.
Awesome. I love that.
And
okay.
one more thing.
Probably no, but go ahead. Sorry.
One more thing. People tell me that this is another nugget that might help you. They tell me, oh, I go to the doctor, regularly. Well, if you just go for a blood pressure check, he's not doing full exam. But also, even if you go for an annual exam, that doesn't prevent anything. They think they're doing good. Now, it might catch a cancer early that's already there. So the tests are only designed to capture malignancies that are already there. So by that time, it has to be, one, the doctor has to order the right test for it to show up, and it has to be big enough. If you have a tiny blockage in your heart, it might not show. If you have a little malignancy, the doctor might not be able to see it. So it's important to be more proactive and less reactive. I'd rather be proactive today and prevent your disorder than reactive tomorrow and treat your disorder. And the odds of a lethal plane crash are 1 in 11 million, but you wear your seatbelt, right? As if your seatbelt from 5 miles up high is going to save your life. The odds of cancer now here, at least in the US, in a lifetime are 1 in 2. That's like a 50-50 chance of rain or sun. What are we doing to prevent it? We need to be biohacking. I'm not going to say it's going to guarantee you don't get a disease, but I started the biohacking because of my family history. All of those problems, family history, cancer, diabetes, heart disease, it's all linked to oxidative stress. It's not going to guarantee I don't get them, but it's going to definitely better my odds of staying healthy, maybe increase my lifespan, and definitely my health span. So we need to be more proactive. So thank you for letting me ramble on that. But it's my passion, and people just think they go to the doctor once a year for a check. It doesn't prevent anything except maybe catching a malignancy early before it spread more.
Yes. Everything yes to that. I have to ask because my standard protocol within every episode, the 3 questions for you. And I already know this because you basically just answer it, but what inspires you with the work that you do?
Okay. Grandma definitely inspired me, but I think also that I was left helpless and hopeless. And there's so many people that can benefit from me. And if I'm quiet about this, I honestly believe they're going to have a shorter lifespan, a shorter health span. right? They're going to still go to the autoimmune doctor, go on those meds, the steroids, get fatter, diabetes, have no life, afraid to live their bubble. So I need to spread my message so that they too can re-energize, feel better, be happier without meds. And the other part is the healthcare pros. I want to show them, because we don't do self-care usually, we're so busy taking care of the world, that they can biohack in like seconds a day. You know, hey, pop this little thing, drink this little thing, that, and they can help more people get better in less time. Because we went into healthcare, most of us, to create that deeper impact. And for me, it was too frustrating with modern medicine because, you know, I give you a Z-Pack in the urgent care. Well, I don't mention a name, but, you know, if I give you an antibiotic in an urgent care for a cold, you're going to get better with it without. I'm not rocking your world. But man, I get rid of your nerve pain, or now you're like getting better without the steroids and the synthetics. I mean, that's giving you back life, you know? So that's what lights my fire. Is my grandma liked putting smiles on faces. I want to put more smiles on faces, but then those people put smiles on more faces, you know?
Wow. That's so, I love,
That's
it's
it.
like a bigger picture for you. I mean, I can tell you have such a passion for this work, and it's given you purpose. I mean, you truly do. Every time I talk to you, you can just tell I am focused. I have a purpose. I have a mission. This is what I want to do. And I do want to ask you, what do you see yourself doing in 5 to 10 years?
My mission is huge. Okay.
Yeah.
I am not only trademarked as the first in the patent office to be used biohack NP, but also the only one allowed to use biohack NP. So I'm officially the only biohack NP per title. But also I'm trademarked as world wellness expert. So the trademark knows me as the only world wellness expert. So I do have clients in other states, countries, and continents, but I want to span more into more states, more countries, more continents. Like I have some clients in UK, Canada, Australia. I want to be well known there. That heck, I'm missing the live talking engagements I would do, where I would feed off the audience, right? If I was talking too quick, I'd slow it down. If they look bored, I'd speed it up. And I love the live audience. So I want to like fly into Italy. They're all have a meeting for me, bam, you know, and they're like, I have my book signings there. They're bringing the book, I'm signing it. I'm giving them motivational, inspirational talk. I'm teaching them on biohacking. I would love to be teaching at I used to teach a professor of nursing for a couple of colleges and hospitals. But it wasn't where I wanted to focus in on. But I would love to more get into the universities where I'm actually teaching these doctors now before they get out there. So they know, see, the difference is a doctor gives an order. You do this, you do that. No, I don't do that. I will educate you on all your choices so you can make the informed decision and you can choose what is best for you. I might steer you a little bit, like, I think this one's better, or this is what I do, but I don't give orders. I give education to empower you so that you can make your choice. So I would love to be speaking big audiences, thousands at universities, to train the young doctors and the specialists about biohacking, because it's not in education. And by the time most books get copyrighted and into their curriculum, they're a few years old already. You know, they're already outdated. This is like hot. People don't realize their doctor that's experienced, if he's a doctor more than 5 years, he has no idea what I'm doing.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, and I forgot. Also, I want to be a philanthropist because I want to have two main nonprofits. One, to rescue animals and children, that this way they can learn to trust again from each other, and to unconditional love and a sense of accomplishment and positive reinforcement. But another one for those that can't afford my services or my biohacking, that they can have it. So I want to have two. I want to be a philanthropist so I can have nonprofits and truly be the world wellness expert and known as such. And recently, about a year ago, I was doing a meeting for a big biotech company, a global company. And it was nice when I got off that meeting to see someone on Facebook had quoted me, right? I said, the vitamins, what did I say? The vitamins of today will be the dinosaurs of tomorrow. And she had like quoted me. Yeah, because vitamins are antioxidants, but when I rev up your pathway and you create your own antioxidants, a million times more potent. So the vitamins of today will be the dinosaurs of tomorrow. So I want to be quoted more. Shayna Melissa.
I love it.
Be proactive.
You have amazing quotes. So I just jotted down about 6 of them.
And it's not just supplementation, it's activation, not
Yes.
supplementation, activation of pathways. And yes, be proactive, not reactive. I mean, I got so many of them, but I want to be quoted more. I have a big vision. Like, girl, you might need a nap before my vision's done. But in 5 years, it'll be big. I'll be on a few more books.
Your vision board is probably the size of this wall.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. And yeah, there's certain key players that I'm going to want in my future books too. Yeah.
I can see that. I can see that. I'm so excited for you. And I just want to say one last thing. You are an inspiration, and you're an inspiration to so many people, but I always try to give a hope rope message for every episode, because there's people that tune in and they're sick, they're stuck, they're, depressed, anxious, all those pieces. And we're human. We walk around this planet and we're all things, right? But you provide such happiness and joy and inspiration. What message would you give those people that are feeling stuck and have gone or are going through a health journey like you have gone through? What message of hope would you give them?
Can you hear me okay? You cut out for a second. Okay. A few things. One is I want you to look at two major examples. Look at my grandma, 79 years old, right? If I didn't give her the hope, you need the mindset. I've heard of people that were misdiagnosed with cancer, never had it, and then died, right? Because they were given the wrong biopsy result. You have to have a strong mindset. You can reach out to your local hospital. There are support groups for everything. There might not be one for your specific autoimmune problem, but there might be one for autoimmune in general or addiction in general, maybe not addiction to heroin or addiction to oxy, but addiction in general. So I would say start off with calling your local hospital. Your doctor probably doesn't know about them. See what support groups are there for you. There's a million things virtually. Mindset is huge. Your past does not dictate your future, okay? I was born into poverty, and that's not where I'm staying. I was born into diabetes in my family, so was my grandma. She didn't get that. So your past does not define your future. You got to keep the strong mindset. Anything is possible. My grandma told me that. She's like, you could be anything you want to be. You got to retrain the brain. If you were told you're never going to amount to nothing, you got to retrain it. It's going to take time. It's possible. Anything's possible. Look, Sir Richard Branson can send men and women to outer space. People thought he was crazy. If you look back, Steve Jobs, right? He said in the 80s, every household's going to have a computer at every workstation. People like, this guy's nuts. Columbus, right? The world is round. People like, no, it's not. So look at those outside of the box thinkers, Richard Branson, and see where they are. Ignore the Debbie Downers. Go to your local hospital, call them for local support groups. Think about my grandma at 79 starting to walk again when people told her she didn't. Think about me. I was in full-blown heart failure. My feet were blue. Only take direction from people who've been there, done that, right? You have a choice, right? You learn to tie your shoelaces. You can figure it out yourself, or you're like, nah, can you help me? And somebody that's been there, done that can expedite your own journey. If I'm going to take direction, I need to figure out how to get to Main Street. Am I going to ask somebody that's never been there? I don't know. I think you make a left, maybe you're right. Or I'm going to ask somebody that's been to Main Street and knows how to get there. So learn from people who have been there, done that. They can expedite your own journey. That's my whole book. That's my message. I don't want you to take the road less traveled. I've already researched for decades all of the alternatives. I spent hundreds of dollars on my education. I mean, to learn from people like Sir Richard Branson on live on a Zoom, like how cool is that? And so listen, I can save you tons of money and tons of time. Learn from someone that's been there, done that. Don't listen to people who haven't been there, done that, because they don't know how to get there. And I can expedite your journey, your end destination, mindset. When you wake up every morning, think about 3 things that you're blessed to have. It could be the same 3. I wake up every morning. I don't say I don't have this, don't have that, don't have that. Don't focus on what you don't have. Focus on what you do have. If you keep focusing on, I don't want to go there, that's where you're going to steer the car and go and crash. So focus on, no, I want to go here. So wake up every morning, think of 3 to 5 or 10 things that you're blessed for. I'm blessed. I wake up. I don't have this virus. I could breathe. I'm not a quadriplegic. I can move my arms. I can taste. So just focus on abundance. I would highly suggest definitely get the book on Amazon or my website, ShaynaMelissa.com. When you go to my website, follow me on all social medias. There's lots of helpful information for you on my website and on my YouTube channel. Subscribe there. On my Facebook pages, there's always current upcoming events. When you're on my website, click to join the social medias, follow, like, subscribe to YouTube, join the Burnt Out to Blissful Challenge while you're there, get the book, schedule a free 15-minute discovery call with you, and I can steer you in a gold nugget on the next step. And heck, it sounds like in the future, you'll need a chapter in my book. So when you get better from biohacking, then you can write a chapter in my book and we can celebrate together. Because I like to say OLO. That's the other thing I want to take off. OLO is not only the acronym for the book, Overcoming Life Obstacle, it's also a double acronym for optimistically lifting others. So I designed that cover. The mountain is an obstacle you have in life, and we're all reaching a hand down to uplift the others. And I'll help you up, but when you get higher than me, hopefully you lift me back up. And at the top, we all celebrate together. And that's what it's about. We're not yelling yes, we're yelling OLO, like you overcame OLO. So I want OLO to take off, and maybe their picture can be on the back of the next cover or their name on the front cover. Yes. And just think OLO, 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 that your story is going to be in a future edition. Maybe the tragedies to triumphs and shared secrets to success, maybe the following one. We need the rain to appreciate the rainbow, right? If we always had the rainbow, we wouldn't appreciate it, right? We need this. Yeah. So just think about it. We need the sunny days. We need the rain to plant the seeds and let them blossom. And if every day is bright, you're not going to appreciate it. So I think you'll appreciate it more knowing from where you came to where you're going. And just make your message, your pain, your purpose, your pain, your power, your tragedy, your triumph. And then just show other people how you overcame it so that you can inspire the next generation.
Good job. I love it. I love it, Shayna. You are just a delight. And I'm so thankful for this interview and your willingness to chat with me. I know we've really kind of connected over the last several weeks, and I've just really enjoyed our conversations and our camaraderie, and just everything that you're doing is really inspiring. And you have helped so many people. So thank you for all your services. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for appreciating it. And thank you for helping me get my uncensored message out there. That is huge. And thank you for understanding the power of biohacking. And knowledge is power, but for those viewers out there, it's only power when you use it. If you just have it up here and you don't apply it. So your call to action is follow me, get the book, go to Shayna Melissa, get your free 15-minute discovery call, so I can help you.
Absolutely. Okay, you guys, for those folks that are listening in, you guys can order this book. Now you can get it direct with a signed copy from Shayna Melissa. So you need to go to her website at www.shayna. So SHAYN. I'm going to put all this information in the description, but SHAYNA Melissa, MELISSA.com. Also follow her on all the social media platforms. She really gives some great information. You can pretty much access Shayna on most every single social media platform. So, and if you're interested in getting in her next book, you guys are going to want to contact her direct. If you're interested in her biohacking methods, her techniques, her tools, I would get a direct consult with Shayna. So again, go to her website to be able to connect direct with her. Did I hit everything?
Oh yeah, definitely. And then maybe I'll have a book signing near them, a little inspirational, motivational, informational talk and book signing or something.
I just hope you come out to Montana so we can hang out and we
Girl,
can do a book tour for you.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen. Awesome.
All right.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you guys for listening. And if you have any questions, please reach out direct to Shayna. She is on Facebook. So you're going to want to connect with her there, or you can connect with her through her website at, again, www.shaynamelissa.com. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and take care and have a great night.
A special thank you to our guest expert, Shayna Stockman of www.shaynamelissa.com. You can find all of her links in the description of this episode. If you like what you heard, please hit the subscribe button and you will be notified of future episodes. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, or connect with us through our website at www.flipinshift.com. Again, www.flipinshift.com.